What's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out again tonight with me. It's about 12:30. I came on a couple of minutes early, but that's all right. Let's see who do we have in the chat today, eh? Hold on a second here. Let's bring up the comments. I said what's up to Fred already. What's going on, Fred? Um, what's going on, Shane Lee, aka Spare Change? Slowly trying to retire the name Spare Change. It's still hanging around a bit. What's up, my mind, Jose? What's going on, buddy? Transylvania. Is there a link? There is a link. I'll share it a little bit here. What's up, William? Craig Osterberg in the house. What's up, Craig? And Don Hensley is up in here. What's up, Don? Got a bunch of you guys here tonight. So let's go over let's go over some of the news, eh? Let me see. What did I cover this last week, huh? Oh man, right off the bat, thank you for the $10 super chat, Transylvania. Good evening. I'm loving your recent coverage and vibe on your videos. Thanks, man. Trying to do a little switch up of my mostly scripted content, so I've been winging it the past couple of videos, so it's been a little bit fun. Actually, winging it has been a lot easier than scripting, because scripting usually takes me sometimes an hour, 2 hours to write a script, whereas winging it usually just takes like, like whatever. It's just off the cuff. So if it's a 15-minute video, it might take me 18 minutes, whereas that same 18-minute video might take me 2 hours to script. So going unscripted has definitely been easier to do. But thanks for the super chat. Super chats are welcome if you guys want to, do any super chats. Appreciate the super chats. But what did I cover the past week? Let's talk about how good does this new Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power look? Was definitely kind of surprised to see that there was Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos logos on the Rings of Power stream. I only watched the one stream so far, but I'll tell you what, yes, it's a little bit slow, and I've been getting a lot of comments on how I think on Rotten Tomatoes it's something like 84% critics thinks it's good and like 34% of the audience thinks it's crap or it's rotten. But I think people that hate it just say that it's really kind of long and kind of boring. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching it, and yeah, it's a little bit long. It's a little bit, kind of lost me in a few parts. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, have you guys not seen the original Lord of the Rings? Do you think those 4-hour movies are bangers straight from the first minute to the last? Because those movies put me to sleep very easily. And I'm going to say the show follows that trend exactly to what the movie looks like. The films are like. At least for me. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like those movies are also kind of long and drawn out. I mean, what are they doing? They're just going to drop some rings on a volcano, right? Do we need 12 hours of that? That's going to get some hate, but it's okay. Oh my god. What's up, Travis? Lord of the Rings looks fabulous. Rings of Power, that is. Rings of Power. Video PQ. Yeah, man. I love it. And there's supposedly some bonus content on the Samsung Plus app, I think, which is supposed to be in 8K. It's a little bit odd seeing as how the show is shot in 4.5K. Why, I'm assuming maybe this behind the scenes stuff is shot in 8K. I'm not sure. Anybody that has a Samsung 800 series television set that's 8K, then leave a comment and let me know exactly what is being shown in 8K on the Samsung sets, because I would personally like to know. I was going to go down to Value Electronics and use their TV set to see if those 2 episodes are actually in 8K, and I was going to review it, but finding out that it's just like a couple of trailers, I decided not to go down there. But if somebody says that it is indeed 2 episodes of 8K material, then I'll definitely want to go down and check it out. So Don says it's the trailer. Yeah, so I'm not gonna go down and just go watch an 8K trailer. That sounds not good. What's up, Classy Tech? Up in here tonight. But yeah, so the Atmos is pretty damn good too, as Travis could probably tell you. Travis also has the altitude 16. Right from the get go, all kinds of objects floating around, like a legit Dolby Atmos mix. So I was kind of happy about that. There were some pretty good flyovers too in the show. Listen, I felt like I picked up my phone more than once during the show. So yeah, it's definitely kind of slow. But like I said, I felt like it is nearly as slow as the movies were. So I really wasn't surprised about it. I was just really surprised at how bright and vibrant the transfer is on Amazon Prime for sure. I would say definitely check it out, man. If you have Amazon Prime, come on, why would you not watch this show? Why would you not watch the show? And then as far as like, I think people were saying like Elrond was gay. Like I don't know if he's gay. I didn't get to the second episode, but I got the impression that he liked uh, what's her name, Galadriel. I was like, oh, I feel like he might have the hots for her or something like that. Like I know nothing about Lord of the Rings, but that's the kind of impression that I got from it. So I didn't think that he was gay at all. I'm trying to think. Did I think any of the elves were gay? I mean, there's one the one elf at the beginning that was in the bar. I guess he likes the one chick, right? The one non-elf chick. Clearly he's not gay. I didn't get any like gay vibes from the elves. Yeah, they're a little bit, lithe looking, a little bit slim and very pale. Maybe that's why people are getting the gay vibes from them. But I didn't get any gay vibes from those elves, especially Elrond. I thought I thought he was all right. I wish they would have picked somebody else with a deeper voice to play Elrond, but this is just me personally. That's what I thought. I was like, man, his voice should be a little bit deeper if he was an elf. But that's Lord of the Rings. So far, I'm very impressed with it. I don't know how episode two or the further episodes are going to go, or even how many episodes are going to be, but I'm looking forward to the rest of the show, though. What do you guys think of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power? Yes or no? Do you like it? Or are you going to skip it? So that's Lord of the Rings. What else did I watch recently? I finally did the Trinnov Altitude 16 amplifiers, which took me about 7 months to do. I know some of you folks have been like badgering me to get that done, and I finally did it. Um, Oddly enough, it only took me about 15 minutes to shoot. So 7 months and only 15 minutes to do. Sometimes I'll get some products in, I get so amped up to get them in. I'm just like, man, I can't wait to get this in. I can't wait to review it. And then I finally get it in. Then I'm like, I get stumped. I get like writer's block, except for I get YouTube block. I'm just like, man, what am I gonna say about this? Yeah, I did the unboxing already. I went over the specs, but now it's kind of like, now I gotta like describe it. And sometimes I just keep putting it off and putting it off. And the Trinnov is definitely one of them. Took me 7 months to do, but I did it. I compared it with the Hagel lamp, which is a $6,000 integrated 2 channel, and I compared it with the Macintosh. And I think Travis also has. I think you switched up to the Trinnov amp as well, and man, super quiet, very quiet amplifier. I don't know if this is supposed to be like all Class D amps are supposed to be super quiet. I think this is the first Class D that I had in my theater, and was quieter than the Macintosh for sure. The Macintosh does not have any gain controls like some of the Parasound amps do. I think if there was a gain control on the Mac, I could probably dial down the input gain, because the input gain on the Trinnov amplifier is 19 dB, whereas the Mac is 29 dB, so it's about 10 dB louder. Hence, you get a little bit more of the noise floor being raised, so you can hear it a bit more. I think somebody had mentioned that I could put on some 10 dB attenuators on it, but then I was asking the folks over at Trinnov, and they were telling me otherwise it'll probably work, but then I'll be diminishing the dynamic response of the preamp, so opted not to try that out. I may still try it, but he made it seem like it might not be such a good idea. But yeah, man, that amplifier, amazing sounding amplifier. It's pretty expensive, $9,500. I think when I got it, I think it was like $9,000, and I think the price went up between then and now. like another $500. So, man, great sounding amp, very punchy, very neutral sounding. Sometimes you don't know if something is neutral or not unless you really compare it to something else, like side by side. So I think that's what kind of took me a little while because I had to run some cables all the way to my two-channel system, and you really can't tell if what an amplifier sounds like running all 16 channels at the same time. Like, you just can't do it. It's like super hard. I don't know how you could do it. So I had to find out what the sound signature was in my two-channel system, which is kind of what I thought it would be. I thought the Mac would be a little bit fuller sounding, which it was. But like I said, man, it's a very kind of a neutral, maybe bit of a dry sounding amplifier, the Trinnov. But man, still a great amplifier. I think it's just a repurposed ATI Class D amplifier, if I'm not mistaken. And the new 16 channel one supposedly supposed to sound similar, maybe not be quite as dynamic from what I was told. But I wouldn't mind checking out the 16 channel one at some point in time as well. But that's the Trinnov amplifier, Amplitude 8M. Great amp, pretty pricey, but so is the rest of the Trinnov stuff. If you have one, I could see that being a great benefit, especially if you have a bunch of speakers and that noise floor is just whisper quiet, whereas the Macintosh is a little bit louder. And speaking of people being sick of woke crap, I guess we could talk about Nope really quick. I know a lot of people hate on some of his movies because of the woke messaging in his films. Personally, when I went to go see Nope at the theater the first time around, except for, I think all races were accounted for in the movie. Usually I don't go into movies thinking about race or anything like that, but, we had some African-American folks. I think we had a Hispanic guy. There was an Asian guy. There was a white guy. So I guess all colors of the rainbow were represented there. So, I mean, that's good, I guess. But I didn't think Nope had any kind of underlying racial message, except for when I went home and I watched the video about this guy just breaking down like everything about it, and I was like, oh, all right, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like certain things he was kind of bringing race into it. But listen, the first time I saw it, I saw a movie that was kind of like War of the Worlds slash. I just saw War of the Worlds personally. The whole thing where the people were getting sucked up into the spacecraft or the alien while he was eating it. I was like, yo, this shot looks just like War of the Worlds when Tom Cruise was getting sucked up in the tube, and he was about to put the grenade up there, and the fact that when Tom Cruise, put off the grenade in the alien ship in War of the Worlds, I saw that same idea come through when they put the Bob's Big Burger guy. I don't know if that's the big balloon guy. I think he's the Bob's Big Burger or something like that. When they fed the balloon in the ship or the alien and blew him up. I'm assuming the alien got blown up. He blew himself up with the thing. But I just saw War of the Worlds when I saw it. I was just like, oh man, damn. I was like, this is kind of like slightly less impressive War of the Worlds. The whole time I was watching it, I didn't think about race at all in it. I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but I'll tell you what, man, I saw it maybe 2-3 times afterwards, after I did the review, and the movie's definitely, it's grown on me for sure. If you're just looking at it from a sci-fi perspective and not going into the semantics of being racist or anything like that, I found it a pretty enjoyable movie, and I've seen it a few times already, and it is full screen, well, for the most part, if you guys are watching on your TV sets. Great looking movie. It was shot in like 6.5K or something like that. So great looking movie, really good looking movie, very clean, very crisp, and the sound design as well. I think I said in the review that it reminded me a little bit of like A Quiet Place, because there's a lot of a little subtlety and nuance in the mix with just some little effects. There's a lot of wind, everything takes place outside and all that stuff, so you get that nice atmospheric feel while you're watching it. And that's what I got, with Nope. And I liked it. No IMAX shots. It was widescreen. I hear that the 4K Blu-ray is supposed to be with the expanded IMAX ratio. But I think certain shots you could see where it would go from 6.5K over to the IMAX cameras. There's certain amount of clarity that you get when the scene would shift over to the IMAX stuff. Aspect ratio didn't change though, but I just think the clarity, you could see where it differentiated itself. I was gonna pick it up on Kaleidoscape, but Kaleidoscape is only doing a rental on it right now, and I'm not spending $22 for a rental. But I think it comes out sometime at the end of the month though on physical media, so hopefully it gets the IMAX shots. What am I checking it out? But that's Nope. Did you guys like Nope? How'd you guys feel about it? Did you feel it was woke crap, or did you just look at it as a sci-fi film? Leave your comments down below. Another movie that I covered last week was Top Gun Maverick. That, on the other hand, whether you're streaming digitally or if you have it on the Kaleidoscape, does have the IMAX shots. And from what I gather, the 4K Blu-ray, I'm gonna take a stab at it right now and say the 4K Blu-ray is probably gonna come a little bit under 68 gigs. I'm just taking a wild guess here. I think if you strip out all of the, I'm sure it's gonna be on a 100 gig disc because the Kaleidoscape version is 68 gigs. So if the physical media version is also around 68 gigs or so, after you strip out half dozen languages, I'm going to take a stab and say it's probably going to be about 59 gigs, maybe 61 gigs in size after you strip out all the extras. And you know what? The digital stream compared to the Kaleidoscape version was like such a difference. The Kaleidoscape version is so much cleaner and so much sharper and crisper. And this is without me even turning on the 8K upscaling. It's such a clean looking movie. Like, I've never noticed that much of a difference between the Kaleidoscape and the digital before. So I can't wait to see if the physical disc also looks more like the digital stream, or is it going to look more like the Kaleidoscape version? Because this is it's a pretty big difference, I felt. Maybe the best looking. I'm trying to think if there's another movie that I think looked really, really good. Maybe Endgame was a pretty nice upgrade as far as 4K quality from the disc over to the K-Scape. I'm thinking maybe Top Gun Maverick is going to be kind of the same way, physical media in the Kaleidoscape. So I can't wait to check that out. I've been holding off on that Kaleidoscape review just so I can find a movie that would be like a good differentiator for people to understand what a Kaleidoscape can give you. But man, so yeah, the video is great on Maverick. And I felt like maybe I would have, I think I gave Maverick a 9.1 for audio. I think maybe I was just like kind of like basing that only on the big action parts, all the action sequences, which I thought were great sounding. But for the rest of the movie, man, especially on the digital was definitely kind of lackluster. I still gave it like an 8.8, I think. I felt like maybe I was being overly generous with the 8. Like, I probably could have went with like maybe just an 8 flat, maybe 7.9. I did feel like, I mean, listen, the Kaleidoscape version is going to sound exactly like it does on disc. I thought maybe the surrounds are a little bit light, after I went back and watched it again. Everything else was fine though, like the dialogue and everything was fine. It was up to par level wise. The Maverick stream, I had to go about 12-15 dB louder, I think. Maybe 20 dB louder. I do remember I had to jack up the digital stream quite a bit. But, I think 9. I think 9 is pretty solid for Maverick. I thought it was going to be a lot better than what it was. There's, all the aerial stuff where it's like the planes were flying overhead and zipping by you and stuff like that. Like, I didn't feel like it was that distinct. Like the separation was quite as good as what I heard on like Midway. Like on Midway, you could like you could track the planes audibly when it went like, a mile off the screen, overhead to the back left speaker. Like, you could track it really good. Whereas I felt on Maverick, it was a little bit more muddled sounding. It was a little bit more congested sounding, in comparison to Midway. So that's why, like, I was hoping it would be like a 10, but it wasn't a 10. It just wasn't as, man, I don't want to be like as dynamic, but it just wasn't as clean sounding. I felt like Midway was. That's the only thing I really had a problem with. Maybe the bass probably could have been a little tiny bit better. I mean, it was still good, still solid, but maybe the bass could have been a little bit better as well. I'm thinking maybe 9 might have been a little too high, but I guess it's all right though. I don't know. Anyways, man, great. I'd say reference quality video, good quality audio. Well, above average audio, definitely in the nines. So, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna stick with my 9. Give it a 9. What'd you guys think? What would you give the audio? Did you guys feel the audio sucked on it? I don't think anybody has seen K-Scape except for maybe a couple guys in the chat here. But the digital definitely needed some work in the audio. The video was good though. For a digital stream, it was good. It just wasn't as good as less compressed K-Scape version. Anyways, what are your thoughts on Top Gun Maverick? Leave your comments down below. I think that's it. What else did I cover? We did the whole Sony projector versus the Telly. We don't need to get into that one. Super chat, what's up? Go Thumb. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Do you like Mad VR? I haven't personally used Mad VR, at least the standalone box. I haven't used it, so I really can't speak on that. As far as I know, people seem to love it though. The only Mad VR that I've ever used was the software back on the PC years ago. I hear that it's supposedly something similar to that. I'm sure some of you guys know, but I haven't seen it personally, so I can't really comment on that too much. And I think they're like, if you want to get one, I think it's like something like 5 months. It's like a 5-month wait if you want to get one. Surprising, for $14,000 and more, they must be selling a lot of them. Because if you gotta wait 5 months to get one, that shit must be good. What other? All right, so let's talk about the new unofficial news with. Hold on, really quick. Let me just go back to it here. All right, so this is all over the internet already. This is not something that I just came up with or that I'm spilling the beans on, but I figured it's online. You can find it online. The specs are online. So I'm just going to read what's online right now. This is the new leaked material, although I can kind of confirm that it is real. That Marantz has got some new AVRs and a processor coming out for 2022, 2023. I guess the naming convention this time around is going to be the Marantz Cinema Series for their new AVRs. Let's start off with the official news. I guess is supposed to drop on the 26th of September. So still a couple weeks away. I think there's going to be like a live event in November at some point in time. But let's see what's new here. Some of the new features. The Cinema Series includes the Cinema 40 and above. Well, let's just go over the models first before we go through all that stuff, huh? Those are the new features. Let's start off with the small one here, the Cinema 70, which is the Cinema 70S. The S is their slimline model. I used to have a 1607S, which is when they're half-sized AVRs. So the Cinema 70 is supposed to be 7.2 channel, 50 watt a channel receiver. It will have all the latest AV formats, 3D soundscape, even with a 2.1 setup. So I guess you're supposed to get some virtual surround up mixing. Slimline replaces the NR1711. New features, 7.2 channel, 6 HDMI inputs, 1 output, 3 inputs supporting 8K 60 and 4K 120 pass-through. It's got Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, Odyssey EQ, and preamp mode for each channel, allowing greater customization with external amplifiers. What's changed from the 1711 is a new back panel, 8K inputs, removes the no component video ins and outs, and adds 7.2 channel pre-outs. So pretty good for an entry-level AVR. That's going to be $1,200. So entry-level $1,200 AVR with pre-outs, pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. That was the Cinema. What number was that one? That was the Cinema 70S. Cinema 60 7.2 channel, 100 watt channel AVR receiver. All the same as above. This will replace the SR5015. 7.2 channels, 6 HDMI ins, 2 HDMI outs, 3 inputs with 8K 60 and 4K 120Hz pass-through. It's got Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, Odyssey, Multi-Q XT preamps for each channel, new Marantz HDM design, and this does replace the SR5015. There's a new back panel, new HDMI inputs, and there are no component ins and outs. That is going to sell for $1,700 US. That's $1,700. Whereas the smaller one was $1,200. So $500 upcharge to go to the full-size AVR with an extra 50 watts per channel. The Cinema 50 is up next, which is a 9-channel AVR, 110 watts per channel. All the same features as above. This will replace the SR6015. What's new, it does have six HDMI ins, 3 HDMI outputs, all supporting 8K 60 and 4K 120 pass-through. It's got a new high-resolution HD GUI, new GUI, user interface for 4K and 8K TV sets, Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, IMAX Enhanced, and Auro 3D. So once we step up to the Cinema 50, we're going to get IMAX Enhanced and Auro 3D. Odyssey XT32, and it is Direct Live upgradable. How much that's going to cost? Not sure. But I'm assuming if you want to get the full suite of Direct Live with base management, probably around $800. It does have preamps for each channel, new Marantz HDAM, and this does replace the 6015. So going from the 6015 over to the Cinema 50, you will lose one HDMI input. The 6015 had 7, this one has 6. It does have more HDMI ins. The subwoofer terminals go from, you get 2 subwoofer outputs over to 4. So you're now getting 4 subwoofer outputs instead of the 2 on the 6015. And of course, they have removed the component video ins and outs on this one. And that price is going to be $2,500 for the Cinema 50, which is a 9.4 channel AVR. Moving up to the big boy, going to the Cinema 40, which is a 9.4 channel AVR at 125 watts per channel. What was the previous one? The Cinema 50 was 110 watts. The Cinema 40 is 125 watts. All the same features as previously mentioned. It has 7 HDMI inputs and 3 HDMI outputs, all supporting 8K 60 and 4K 120 pass-through. Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, IMAX Enhanced, Auro 3D. Odyssey XT32, again, Direct Live upgradable. I'm assuming maybe Direct Live doesn't come straight out of the box. Just a guess. Preamp mode for all channels, new HDAM, and this is now made in Japan. So now, usually on the upper end, Denon and Marantz products, usually the higher end models, they're made in Japan rather than China. So hand select parts. So for all you audiophile guys out there, maybe the Cinema 40 is the one for you. What's new from the 7015 that it replaces? You have an extra trigger. So it went from 2 triggers on the 7015 to 3 8K inputs, 4 subwoofer outputs as opposed to 2 on the 7015, and no component video ins outs. This is going to retail for, it's going to sell for $3,500. And that seems to be their flagship AVR. Not a bad price for a flagship AVR, $3,500. And then we have their processor. which is 15.4 channel AVR, or sorry, 15.4 channel preamplifier. So 15 channel going from 13 from last year's model over to 15, which is what, the 8805. So all the same features as mentioned previously. New specs obviously are the 15 channel processing with advanced bass management for 4 subwoofer connections, 7 HDMI ins, 3 HDMI outputs, AK60, 4K 120 pass through, new GUI for 8K and 4K television sets, Dolby Atmos, DTS:X Pro, IMAX Enhanced, Oro 3D, Odyssey XT32, and Direct Live upgradable. New toroidal power transformer, 19-channel monolithic HDAM design, also made in Japan and one colorway. I'm going to take a guess and say the colorway is probably those lights that illuminate the sides. If you guys have seen like their Ruby 2-channel integrated amps, there's usually that lights, those 2 lights that light up on the sides there. I think they're blue typically. I think that's what that means, one colorway, or maybe it could just be, it just comes in like black. But I think that's what that refers to. And this is going to be $7,000 for the brand new AV10 preamp processor. So that's a big chunk right there. That's going to get announced on go official, I guess, on the 26th as well. And there is, to go along with the AV10, there's going to be an AMP10, so a matching amplifier. So the preamp processor is 15 channels, but the AMP10 is 16 channels. It is 200 watts per channel. I'm not sure if that's going to be all channels driven or just 2 channels, but hey man, this is a Marantz product, so my guess is probably going to be like just 2 channels only, but it is 16 channels, 200 watts per. 16 channels. It's a new class D. Okay, so it is 200 watts at 8 ohms, 2 channels driven, 400 watts at 8 ohms, 2 channels driven, 16 channel XLR/RCA inputs, toroidal transformer, Marantz HDAM design, and it's got the porthole little analog levels that are going to be on the front as well. So you still get the portholes in all these Marantz AVRs. They're not going to do away with that. That is also made in Japan, and it also has one colorway as well. So it's going to have those lights that illuminate. I'm pretty sure that is also going to be $7,000. So if you want to go full separates, AV10, AMP10, you are looking at $14,000. I guess if you were to compare it to the Trinnov Altitude 16, that's 16 channels as opposed to 15, and that's like $18,000 compared to the $7,000. So it's, less than half the price of a Trinnov Altitude 16. But then, of course, you got to factor in the amplifiers as well. But, you can always mix and match that if you want to go something cheaper than $7,000. So, I mean, I guess that would be the next kind of logical thing if you wanted to step up to a high channel count processor and not go for like a Trinnov. I mean, I think you can go with like an Anthem or something like that for around 4,500, if I'm not mistaken. But that is it, man. That's all the news. This is, of course, online. You can search this online. All the specs are online already. So this information wasn't shared to me directly from Sound United. So hence I'm making the video on it just to share with you guys. I definitely want to check out, if they're going to let me borrow it now. I definitely want to check out the AV10 and the AMP10. And I do want to check out the Cinema 40, which is their flagship receiver. I want to know if Direct Live is going to come straight out of the box, even though it does say Direct Live upgradable. So maybe you're just going to get just the plain limited Dirac on these models, which limit correction up to 300 hertz, I think. And then you have to pay for the extras for like, base management and all that stuff, which I think is another 100 to 400 bucks. But I think these all go official on the end of the month, 9/26. And then I think the preamp processor stuff goes official sometime next year. So what do you guys think about all that stuff, man? What do you think about the prices? Let's go over the prices one more time. 16 channel amplifier, Amp 10 is $7,000. The AV10 preamp processor, $7,000. The flagship AVR Cinema 40, $3,500. The Cinema 50, $2,500. Going to the mid-range here, Cinema 60, $1,700. And then we're going to the entry-level slimline AVR, which is the Cinema 70S at $1,200. What do you guys feel about these prices? What do you guys feel about the models and features? How do you guys feel about Direct Live finally coming to Sound United products? And are you going to pick up the new Marantz AVR separates? Leave your comments down below. So that's the news out of the new Marantz stuff. What do we got here? Yes, prices are getting a little crazy. Listen, I think Marantz Denon just recently had a little price bump. One of my guys at Best Buy gave me the lowdown on some of the prices that, all the increases that came through recently, and how it's hard to get these things anymore. You know, it's hard to get a receiver nowadays. I wonder if that new processor is fully balanced for 7K. It better be. Does Marantz typically do fully balanced? I'm not sure. I don't think they have in the past. I could be mistaken, but I don't think they are. Are receivers released yearly? If so, what time of year? I'm trying to buy 9 or 11 channels, and they are out of stock everywhere. Look at that. It just goes along to what I was just saying earlier. Yeah, hard to get receivers anymore. I'm still waiting to get my hands on an Anthem processor. Oh, anything Anthem. They just been selling to all the customers first, and if you're not buying, they're not sending out any review units to any of the reviewers. So I've been waiting on that forever. But yeah. But typically, yeah, receivers come out every year. At least for their preamp processors from Sound United, anyways. I think it's maybe every 2, maybe 3 years. I mean, I could be wrong on that one, but I think it's every 2 or 3 years for their processors and amplifiers. But the AVRs is every year. Always sucks. I mean, that's why I always say, man, save your spare change, get yourself a preamp processor, because that's going to at least last you 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6 years, depending on how much money you spend. So you're not buying a new receiver every year. Because if you think about it, if you're one of those guys that buys a new AVR every year, if you're like going mid-range or flagship models, you're looking at, you know, $2,500, $3,500 every year, and then you got to resell at a loss. Whereas you could have just got yourself something cheap at the get-go, saved your money for a couple years, bought yourself the nice flagship model, and not have to worry about getting upgrades every year, and just been happy and content for the next half decade or so. What is my floor made of? What's my floor made of? My floor is made out of wood. I guess it's wood. Why would you ask that? I gotta kick out one of my kids to get my own home theater room. Man, you can turn your basement into one or something. Just as long as you got a living room, you can make a perfectly fine home theater. What else we got here? What are your top 3 subs? What are my top 3 subs? Man, I don't think I have a top 3 subs. Top 3 subs. I don't know. I would really have to think about that. It all really depends on how much you want to spend. What's up with the PSA sub teaser you shared? I was actually gonna pick up that subwoofer. Let's bring it up really quick. This is the PSA. What is it? The 2112M. Which was the Power Sound Audio. It's like sold out. It's like the day I put up that post, the next day it was like sold out. I mean, I hear the guy's supposed to be releasing some new subwoofers, or at least some new speakers. I don't know if that pertains to subwoofers as well, but sealed subs. But yeah, man, like everything is sold out. I can't believe it. Because it's let's share the screen here. Chrome tab, sealed subwoofers, share that. Close that. So I was looking at this guy here. This is the M2112M, sold out temporarily. Kind of sucks a little bit, but this is a 21-inch driver subwoofer with 1,925 or 1,920 watts of ICE-powered Class D amplification. Frequency response is 11 hertz to 200 hertz. In-room extension 6 hertz to 9 hertz. Oof, that's what I'm talking about. Not gigantic, also not small. Almost a perfectly square 24-inch box, 135 pounds. Sealed. I'm all about the sealed life lately. I feel like it just goes lower, at least for me in my room. But yeah, man, normally $2,200. I would hate to see it come back in stock and it be more than $2,200. So who knows? I could see that being a factor. But I was gonna pick that up, but I can't do it now because I can't get it. Sorry. So that's gonna have to be on hold for now. Because I got rid of my rhythmic subs, so no more F18s. My reasoning for selling my F18s was I never really got to use the F18s because I've always got something new. I've always got a Rel. I've had XTZ. I've had the Perlissons in here. I've had just a bunch of subs, and I never really get to use my own subs. So I sold them. To a guy around here locally. So he's pretty happy with it. He sold off his SVS SB4000s, moved in the big boy 18s. I do miss them a little bit, but I've only used them maybe a handful of times in the past year, so it really didn't make any sense for me to keep them. But I do want to check this out. I have reached out to Power Sound Audio, and I guess because of the whole shortage of whatever drivers and wood or whatever, they don't really do. They haven't been doing review units, so I think I'm gonna just have to buy this one. And I haven't bought a sub in like forever. I only paid for a subwoofer. Balance Force 12 or Perlisson D215. That's D215. Man, I'm gonna have to go with the Perlisson. Like I like the Balance Force 12s. Like if it's a one-on-one competition, yeah, the Perlisson D215 is just like it's a step above it. Not that the Balance Force 12 is bad. Like I love those subwoofers; they're amazing subwoofers for the price. But yeah, the 215s just they dig lower, they hit way harder. It's just another step above the Balance Force 12. I like the Balance Force 12's looks personally better. Like I think they look better. I just think the Perlisson D215 sounds better. Am I going to be reviewing the Full Cow Corsair speakers? I don't. Am I going to do that? I mean, I could get them. I can get them, but probably not, though. I don't think so. It's going to be a pass on me for that. Makes the Anthem AVM 90 price more reasonable now. Yeah, I think the AVM 90 is like 4,500, right? Anthem AVM 90. Let me see. Let's share that. Let's share screen. AVM 90. Man, I feel like this came out like 2 years ago. Like it's been so long. Our most advanced sophisticated. How much is the price? Let's go with this website. How many channels is this, by the way? AVM 90. It's got 8K 2.1. 7 dedicated HDMI 8K inputs. Same specs. 4K 120. 3 dedicated outputs with EARC. Also featuring latest age technology. HDR10, ALLM, VRR. So that's there. That's there. No DTSX Pro though. So I mean, listen, you get the DTSX Pro with the higher end Marantz. Dolby Atmos IMAX. It's got IMAX too, so that's cool. It's got their own anthem room correction, which I would say is equally as good as Dirac. Although I'm sure Dirac's bass management is probably better than ARC's or than Anthem's. How much is this thing, by the way? Man, did I miss the price or what? What's happening here? What the hell's the price at? Listen, I think it's $4,500. I could be mistaken. If somebody knows, just drop the price because that shit's not here. Did they take the price off the line? Off their website? Okay. Well, somebody type it down. I don't know what the price is. Yes, no oral 3D, but honestly, does that really matter? Unless you just want to upmix. Shane, what's your opinion on Shure subwoofers? I have dual UL-S15 Mark IIs and think they AER. Awesome. Think they're awesome. Yeah, I think I reviewed them, right? Didn't I do the UL-S15 Mark II about 3 years ago? I don't know what the price went up or not, but at the time when I reviewed them, they were $900. And for an under $1,000 subwoofer, I don't think there's too many subs that are going to beat that for that price. I mean, there's the XTZ, which is a 12. I think the Shure is like 15. I think that did go a little bit lower. So yeah, man, for that money, tough one. I would say either that or maybe the Stark Sound, probably the best under like $1,000 subwoofer. Because with the Stark Sound, man, that's a 15. I was getting like 8 hertz in my room with that single 15. It's not the best built sub, but that Stark sub was a pretty killer deal. I wonder how good the new Avatar will look and sound. Yeah, man, I'm gonna Avatar re-releasing the theaters, 4K, 3D, HDR, high frame rate. How crazy that's gonna be? 4K 3D HDR. Come on, that's gonna look good. I'm for sure gonna go check that out. I think they're releasing that in the theaters on the 26th of this month. So I'm gonna have to find a local theater that hopefully can accommodate that new projection. Because I've not heard of a 4K 3D movie before. 9K. Oh, is the Anthem really $9,000? Shit, why did I think it was like 45? All right, so I guess is that what we're talking about? Because Marantz is $7,000. The Anthem is $9,000. Freak guy, have you ever heard of Seat and Sound submersive subs? I have heard of Seat and Sound. Yeah, they're kind of like the OG, right before JTR and PSA came along. I think Seat and Sound was like the name. Then I think like JTR and Power Sound Audio came up, and then you don't really hear about Seat anymore. At least I haven't heard about Seat that much anymore. Why didn't Perlisten add grills to their subwoofers? Tough one, man. It looks like they would. It looks like it was. There's a spot for a grill because just the way the outline it's cut out, looks like it would be almost like a half grill that would slide over the front and be flush. I thought they would offer one, but yeah, it just didn't look like it. AVM 70 is cheaper. The AVM 90 is newer at 9K. Oh, okay. I have no idea anymore if these. I guess the prices went up. Ever since I couldn't get one, it's like I stopped looking. I just stopped looking. And no plans on upgrading the AVM 70. Aaron Friedman has 2 KF92 subs. Oh man, I love those subs, man. I wish those KF92s had XLRs, because man, those things go so low and they hit so hard for small subs. Only thing is, you kind of like need multiple subs if you want to fill a large space. Like they're really small and they dig really deep, but I mean they're not like super loud because they're so small. AVM 70 is $4,000. What do we got? AVM 90. Yeah, $7,500 each USD. PSA sub sold out is getting ICE components for their amps. S2112 primary with speaker power 4,000, 6,000 watt amp for $2,700 is available. Oh, so are you telling me that when they get new ICE componentry, are the prices going to go up? Is that what you're alluding to? Because going over $2,200 for a subwoofer, man, I don't know. I don't know if I could swing that. Even $2,700. I don't know if I could drop $2,700. Listen, I haven't had to pay like full price for audio equipment in a long time. For me to take this plunge and spend full price on a subwoofer, one that I'm probably not even gonna keep, is like, man, that's a stretch for me. What's a good center speaker for under $400? Good speaker for, man, you are asking the wrong guy, Craig Osterberg. I haven't had a $400 speaker in like forever. Who makes a good $400 speaker? Probably, the tried and trues. I mean, you can go with the clip stuff, the SVS, maybe Polk. I'm sure Kef has got their entry level series. Yeah, man, that's, I guess there's a bunch of good $400 center channel speakers out there. I personally haven't reviewed any of them, but I'm sure there's a bunch out there. But yeah, man, I am going to log off now. I'm gonna go watch episode 2 of Rings of Power. I'm gonna see, and I still need to go watch this new She-Hulk show. Hold on, let's talk about She-Hulk. Have any of you guys seen She-Hulk? Who has seen She-Hulk? I watched the first. The main thing that I have with She-Hulk is that they're like 20-minute episodes. It's like you get into the show, you start watching the show, all of a sudden it's over. It's like right when you think the story is about to build up, the episode's over. I mean, do some stupid post-credit scene, and then it's done. Then it's like there's 10 minutes worth of credits. I'm like, yo, what are you guys doing with the show? It's kind of like, I feel like they just took a movie and they just chopped it up into separate episodes. Like, why would you not just put everything together, just release 1 2.5 3 hour movie and be done with it? Because these 20-minute episodes, man, it's not cutting it. I don't know what's going on here. And the show is a little cheesy. Like, what's going on with the Hulk? I felt like after Thor Ragnarok, Hulk has just been like he's been just like a comedy, man. Just like, he's been like comic relief for the MCU. The Hulk is just like funny. And like Thor is like comedy relief too. Like She-Hulk. Comedy. What's going on with these shows, man? I feel like everything's so family friendly. Like, I understand it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, you gotta make it family friendly. But shit, man. Can we get some serious movies for a change here, Marvel? God damn. Well, that's it though. I'm gonna log off here. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I'm gonna chop up this stream, make a couple of different videos off of it. But thanks for everybody who super chatted. And if you guys would like to join my Patreon, I also have a Patreon. If you guys want to join the Patreons, what do we got here? If you want to join Patreon for $1 a month, you get all these perks here. Access to Patreon only content, discounts at Value Electronics, $5 a month because you like me, and then $10 a month if you like me even more. You can pay annually, you can pay monthly, do whatever you want to do. $12 a month. You guys got questions, I'll give you some answers pretty quickly, mind you, instead of me ignoring most of the comments on my videos, because mostly I get a lot of trolly comments on most of my videos, so I usually try to avoid the comment section of my videos. But if you want to hit me up here, I also have a YouTube membership as well. I think it's $1 more for each one because YouTube takes more money. They don't let you go that low. But you can sign up for either Patreon or YouTube membership if you guys appreciate the work that I do here and want to help support the channel and help me get a Power Sound Audio subwoofer. Patreon, YouTube membership. Thank you to the folks that are in here from my Patreon as well. So thank you guys, and thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next video.